Mark Smelly Bell here. I got my fancy mace. It's just like a ankle weight that's on this thingy here. Anyway, we have a bunch of maces in the gym and they're really nice. But a lot of them are like, they're pretty heavy, and I'm just like not good at this movement because like, look at where I can put my elbow. Ready? Goes like right to there and it kind of gets stuck. So I need to start easy. I did order a bunch of maces, and I ordered some fancy ones from, I ordered a Berserker maces, and you can load them with like shot, and they're really beautiful and they're really well crafted and everything. But anyway, starting here with this guy in the meantime until those get sent over. And I did some mace stuff a couple days ago, and I actually got kind of sore from it, and I actually sort of got a little something in my back going, but I was like, you know what? That's just a good adaptation. And it's just because, again, my arms aren't used to this kind of motion. So I'm just trying to get myself used to stuff. I'm 48 years old, and I'm just trying stuff, you know? So if you ever watch something and you see like something that I'm doing and you're like, that's dumb, I kind of agree with you. I kind of understand where you're coming from. But I would like for you guys to try some stuff too, you know? Try some stuff you haven't done before. Go do a CrossFit workout. Go to a yoga studio. You know, try some different stuff. Go on a hike. Try to get your body to move better. Like, rather than just lifting more weight, maybe move the weight better. And this is all just a practice. Like I work out pretty much every day, but some days it's just like a bunch of stupid stuff like this. And I don't even need to like look up how to do this, because like I just don't have a skill set yet. So I just start here and just mess with some of this. There's really not much someone can show me or teach me when I don't have like hardly any mobility. So this is like double zero method. And the way I'm looking at this is like just a few minutes every day, or a few minutes a couple times a week. Hard thing sometimes on this stuff is to relax. The better I breathe, the easier it is. The more I loosen my grip rather than tighten my grip, the better. Shoulders are burning. This is kind of actually interesting because this moves a lot. So that motion sort of throws me back a little bit more. And if I was just doing this by myself, I would probably do this for maybe another 10 minutes, but I'll spare you. Mess around with the rope. I already did this for maybe about 10 minutes earlier today. But you know, play around. Like, you don't have to complicate this. There's still some moves that I haven't learned, that I haven't figured out quite yet, but I'm not sweating it. I'm not worried about it. Try to go on one foot. Work some balance. Try to get up on the toes. Kind of hard, but makes it more fun to have a challenge. You can use your other leg as a counterbalance, and you can kind of stay on one leg for a while if you can get the coordination down. See how my leg is going different direction than my head. And just walk wide, walk low. Try to really loosen up. underhand. Your underhand goes to overhand just by turning the other way. Some people will hold it apart. I've seen Nsima lately holding it apart and moving his hands in some cool, interesting ways. You can hold it one-sided, or you can hold it with both. You can put your hands like this, lightly, and the rope is holding everything kind of in place, like this. Or you can sort of lightsaber sword your hands and go here. If you want, you could choke up more. You can get in a faster movement. Try to hold some ISOs. Again, it's not really, this isn't really like much of a, it's a workout, but I like to kind of think of it more as a practice, being someone that comes from like a lifting background, just so that it's like separate from what I normally do, right? I don't just do this, but this is something that I do. Woo! And that's smoking the legs out big time. Try to get as close to the ground as I can. There we go. Switch to the other side. Legs are sore, a lot of sled work last night. Whew. Why the rope flow? What's it for? It's for a teapot. I'm a little teapot, short and stout, okay? And it's also for some rotation, which there's not nearly as much rotation in this as there is just kind of side to side head movement, like you're moving out of the way of punch, and some shoulder movement. But the rotation can come as you go to bring your arms back. So you can bring the arms back like you're a receiver trying to catch a football, right? Boom. And you can kind of just hone in on, say, I'm going to work on rotation. So you're going to try to rotate more, or even rotate more just to one side. And then you can go split, rotate this way. And then you can go split, rotate this way. Just all the movements, all of them. Rotate this way. So this isn't stretching, but it's a way to get into some positions. And because of the centrifugal force of the rope, it sort of pushes me into that position. Now, I could push myself into those positions without the rope too, right? So the rope isn't some magical piece. I could be out here and I could be practicing all the same, right? Just the rope makes it more fun. It's a way to gamify it. It's a way to make it look more interesting, I guess you'd say too. But yeah, I could be out here doing some Tai Chi, right? That's a practice, some movement. Try to just bring the hands back. If you remember, we had Movement Doc for our podcast a while back. He showed us some stuff in the gym, and he was on our podcast as well. But he took his finger. I thought this was a great way of doing things. Took his finger and he just watched, like rather than just, watching, which is one way of doing it, right? You move your head with the object, but then maybe you also are moving your torso. And you might do the same thing with this. You can take this, might make you a little dizzy or make you feel a little weird, but you can watch the rope. And as you watch the rope, you can think to yourself, I'm gonna try to rotate my body with wherever the rope goes. Keep the rope in sight the whole time. So the rope obviously is in sight here. It's really easy, right? But as I go back more, I have to twist, keep my feet stationary. I twist my body more and more. As you get older, for some reason, you probably noticed this with your dad or even with me, that people's heads don't move the same when they're older. And so your head and your neck and all that stuff, you really want to have an ability to continually to move those things. And then also just with like shoulder mobility, like how does the rope help your shoulder? Well, here you go like this. If you're like, ow, if you do this and you go, ow, then just go less. Maybe choke up on it a little bit and go here. And go real light and say, oh, okay, that didn't cause pain. And you go here. And then see if you can do that twice in a row. See if you can get higher up, or you can stay in that low range. You can stay here. 2, 3, 4, 5. Can you do it with your arm all the way out to your side? 3, 4, 5. If something's hurting, like if it hurts a lot, scale of 1 to 10, it hurts more than like a 3, then don't mess with it. So if you have a shoulder thing going on like that, then maybe you got to go 2 hands for a while, okay? But look, look at this right arm. Say it's my right arm that's all messed up, right? Still got that shoulder still moving. It's still doing something, right? And now I have that left, and I can push the arm around a little bit and give it some support so it doesn't hurt. You shouldn't be in pain when you're doing a lot of this stuff. Another great one for your shoulder. So obviously we have this motion where we're going here. This is an overhand, but that would be like a little bit more for the wrist, okay? Wrist joint. We go up to the shoulder and we want to see, more movement through here and opening even of like the chest a little bit, right? Back in here. And the way your feet are oriented matters a lot with this. And are you moving with it, or are you trying to stay stationary? If you stay stationary and you don't allow yourself to rotate, it's going to be more of a stretch and more demanding on the shoulders, which you might want. If you'd rather get the rotation out of the exercise too, then you simply just try to rotate with it each time. There's underhand version of that. They're always coming for us. Always. It's an emergency here in Davis. There's nothing here at Davis. There's a university, and there's no crime, and there's nothing to do. So the town just hires 1 million people to leaf blow and to trim the bushes and the hedges and so forth. Really interesting. So underhand here, same thing. If you want to go with it so it feels like less of a stretch, you can tilt your body that way. If you want to be more of a stretch, you actually try to go the other way. So much of this stuff is repetition. So if you got a blown up shoulder and you start doing some of this, you're getting a lot of repetitions in there. And am I trying to tell you that this is some magical thing that's going to heal your shoulder? No, I don't think so. I think this would be one small piece of the puzzle, depending on the severity of what you have going on with your shoulder. My brother's had a pretty bad shoulder thing for a while, and this can be something that can be helpful, but it's not going to be a cure. It might be for a couple people out there. So if you see from the back, as I'm doing this, try to get that shoulder to move a lot. I'm also trying not to like be like this, like all tight and stuck. Trying to let that arm be pretty free. And I don't think it's a great idea to get going too fast on some of that if you're not used to it. So start slow. Next movement for the shoulder would be this guy. Feels like too much, use 2 hands. Feels like you're okay, switch it back to 1. Over, over, over. The less that you move through your upper body, the more shoulder it's gonna be, which might be preferred. And now you can contort your body in different ways. I can move, trying to keep the coordination going. Boom, 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 back and forth, right? And I can also just move this way and still try to keep that same thing going. Now we're almost going behind the body. All right? You go here and we can turn in this way. We can take the shoulder and we can try to bend the elbow a little bit. And you can kind of work in this, get it going to the side, almost like you're going to do like external rotation that way. But you're just crossing over the body, elbows bent, and you have your arm in that same position. Then over, so that one was under, this one's over. It's like unlimited. You guys can figure a lot of this out for yourselves. Maybe some of this, doing these circles in front of you, which actually feels less intrusive, less invasive than this. So maybe that's your first start, is to come here. Just play around with it. Just get yourself a rope. It's pretty easy to do. Personally, I think it's fun. I try to do it almost every day. I don't do it every day, but I do it a lot. I do it often.